Welcome to Talking on Purpose with Torrie, the podcast and internet show. Today's episode is a little bit different because it was something I recorded back in August of this year when I had to go to renew my driver's license. As most of you know, a lot of laws changed and we had to get the real authentic driver's license. There was some extra steps that we had to go through. And of course, here we are in a pandemic. So that made scheduling a little bit difficult. I just thought it was an interesting video to share, and I hope that you will let us know of your stories, your experiences. What has happened to you as you have had to do life in a more roundabout way, perhaps? I know some things have become more challenging. There are people that we are not able to see, and just the overall morale, the ways we have to show love and honestly go the extra mile has been really telling of the Christian community and what we are willing to tolerate and the things that we would rather just do away with. Anyway, that was a little bit more than what I needed to share, but I am enjoying this process and I thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and share this with a friend or two. Now, here's the video. Ooh, ooh, I want to tell you all about my Department of Motor Vehicles, the DMV, why my experience was so creepy. But before I dive into that, I would like to give some helpful or useful information that some of you may or may not know. So, first, you're going to need to make an appointment. Second, you're going to need to make an appointment. Third, you're going to need to make an appointment. That's what I got for you. Let me tell you what happened to me. It's a little story time, okay? And hopefully you will still be helped by this information. My driver's license was about to expire. And I did a little bit of a panic because it was only about 3 weeks out, which meant I could not renew it online. If you are within that 5 to 6 week range, you can renew it online. However, there is a caveat to that. If you want to get a real ID, you will need to actually show up in person. So what I said at the beginning, you will need to make an appointment will apply to you. Here is a little bit of my story. I don't want to freak you all out, but I was able to clarify, organize, and prepare in real time. And I thought this would be a great story, a great applicable lesson to give you all. As you know, on my platform, we talk about clarify, organizing, and preparing with God. And a lot of what we have not necessarily discussed is how we can do that within the current situation, the current circumstances that we may find ourselves in. I was able to do that, and I try to do it on a regular basis, which is why I'm trying to teach you all how to do it. I look at my driver's license, realize that I need to get it renewed. I quickly go online only to find the documents I need to have in order to do so. I was first alerted that no, you cannot do this online, boo-boo. No, you cannot do it online. I'm like, okay, I'm fine. I can go to my DMV office, Department of Motor Vehicles. I don't mind going there, not a problem. The first thing I was alerted to was that I needed to make an appointment. I was like, oh, they serving lunch now too? Okay, DMV. All right. All right. Okay, a little coffee. Okay. That's not why we're making an appointment at the DMV. It's not. And that's where the creepiness comes in, but I'm going to get to that too, okay? So I tried to make an appointment with the Department of Motor Vehicles in my current city. That's logical, right? That makes sense. Yes. All right. No, the first available appointment is September 20th of 2020. And I said, wait, why? Who? My license will expire prior to September 20th. Disclaimer, I have renewed my license and I do have my real ID. Just putting that out there. So all of this is, I have gone through the process. I have received what I needed and now I am relaying it to you. Okay. As I'm going through this information, finding out that I can't make an appointment until the end of September, I start to panic a little. The anxiety creeps up. I'm thinking, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? I can't have an expired license. I start thinking about all the places and the things I need to actually go and do. And then I really started, I mean, I'm gonna tell you all, this was about to be a serious spiral. Because then I'm thinking, okay, when you Uber somebody, how do you do Uber now? Do we have the whole face mask? Is there a guard? Like, and then do they accept cash? Do I need a card? I mean, I was really diving deep, okay? But then I stopped. And this all happened within a matter of 45 seconds, okay? I stopped. I said, okay, God, how do I clarify, organize, and prepare and get this under control? Because I know there is a way to do this. I am not the only person this has happened to. How do I solve this problem? So first I clarified, could I go to any DMV? And the answer to that was yes. I could go to any DMV within Virginia. Now it could be, I'm thinking that I didn't do a deep dive into this information as to whether or not you can renew in any state. However, for the state of Virginia, I could drive anywhere within the state of Virginia to renew my license, to get my real ID. Okay, clarified that. Wonderful. Where can I go? A drop-down list comes up with all of the cities that I can actually conduct my business of getting a real ID, because we do have different Department of Motor Vehicles where there's an express one and a different, but some services are only available at the main offices. So before you go to your DMV, check to see what it is that you're doing and make sure that that particular office, be it an express or the main office, if you can make your transactions there. Okay. So I was able to, after going through about 10 cities, I was able to locate a city that was about 2 hours away that I could in fact renew my license on that day. That was a hiccup. The organization of it all, God told me, he said, you can go. You have your work completed, and the awesomeness of you being able to be on the road for about 5 hours to from travel, all of that, is that you can take advantage of some of the audio components of your coursework and you can listen to it on your way. That's what happens when you organize with God. He shows you some other things you can be doing while you're doing something else to keep your mind focused, engaged, and moving forward. Because yes, I took some great notes, and anyway, not too much of a sidebar. I get to the DMV. Again, it was about 2.5 hours away. I am there an hour and a half early. I walk up to this gentleman. He's sitting outside. He asked me for my name. He asked me what time my appointment was. I said it was at 1:20. He looked at me. He said, it's only 12. I said, hey, I came from somewhere else. And oh, okay, well, fine. He said, if there is an opening, somebody happens to cancel, we'll call you in. Sir, absolutely. He said, do you have air conditioning in your car? I was like, yes, sir. He said, pull on over here and you can chill out in your car. And if I motion for you, just come on in. Praise God. As I'm sitting there, I'm still listening to some of my coursework and making some notes. I get called in. Okay? All right. Here's that creepy stuff for y'all. I want to first say that everyone who worked there, all of the employees, were very kind, very nice, beautiful spirits, very uplifting and encouraging. Every single person I had to come in contact with or even made eye contact with, all of them just tremendously, just wonderful human beings. Okay, so that experience, I need to separate the people from what was actually happening. Okay, when I walk in, this particular DMV is not the largest of them, but it was still of a decent size. There were exactly 5 chairs lined up in the middle of the room, each with a mat underneath it, spaced 6 feet apart. Everyone had on a mask, and they were only allowing, I believe, as far as the lobby area, I want to say there may have been about 10 to 15 people there. I'm not sure how many, employees or what have you. I didn't count them. But walking in there was just such a surreal moment, because while the employees were talking to one another and giving back and forth information, there was somebody who would come by and sanitize the moment you left the window. She would come over, wipe everything down, but things were covered with, some type of plastic. It was a lot to take in, because I had not been into an environment and like that. I hadn't been into that particular type of bubble. Okay. The people who were there to conduct business stared straight ahead. They really didn't make eye contact. No one was really speaking to one another, even though our faces were covered. It was very zombie-esque. And even though I'm an introvert, it really did creep me out. I just felt yeah. So I just want to warn you, for those of you who, when you see people, you automatically want to speak and interact. And I am one of those people. I do like to, talk and interact and ask people how they're doing, how their day is going, and, strike up a conversation. And there was only one other person outside of the employees that actually spoke to me. And she and I talked for, briefly, because we were on opposite sides of the room. So we didn't really want to just start yelling towards one another, because again, that's weird too. But it was really an eye-opening experience in the fact of where this world is going and how this pandemic has forced us to do certain things. And regardless of what your beliefs are, religious, spiritual, moral, I'm not trying to get into that. But I do want to say this. How would you feel? And I've seen parents, and the reason I'm asking, I've seen parents post about this, about their children being on the playground and not having anyone to play with. I've seen children, I've actually watched this myself, of watching social distancing between 6 and 7-year-olds. And it breaks my heart to see all of this playing out. I understand the implications of what this pandemic and the death rate and all that. I understand it. So please don't drop in the comments and try to come for me. I'm not going there. My point is the solutions that we have to make. This may be that point where we have to go the extra mile. If you are a child of God, this may be that point where we need to go the extra mile on top of everything else, okay? Of making it a point to speak, to strike up conversations, to maybe not physically embrace, but give people enough warmth within our conversation that they feel as though they've been hugged, that they've been with someone, that they have had some type of interaction. Because I see this as the adversary trying to pull us apart, because we are relational human beings. And the more we try to separate and bubbleize ourselves, the less likely we are going to want to discuss, debate, love, do anything, because we are fearful for our lives. Just wanted to share that little tidbit with you all. I hope it helps when you go to the Department of Motor Vehicles. Just make sure that you schedule your appointment, and to know that at least if you live in Virginia, you can go to any city within the state of Virginia to conduct the majority of your business. Thank you all for listening and watching, and I pray that you all remain healthy, of good conscience, and good cheer.